Hey everyone, Mango7Roll here. How we doing today? Today we're going to talk about this update that's the wrong button. We're going to talk about this update over here. It is way down at the bottom. First, I want to mention one thing, and that is Nintendo sucks at advertising, at least with Fire Emblem Heroes. Maybe it's Intelligent Systems instead, but somebody sucks at advertising. I did not notice this as somebody who lives and breathes Fire Emblem. Like, I literally live and breathe it. It is my job, essentially. Like, I love this game. I am always on it, and I did not see this update notification. The only reason I saw this was because I was on stream and somebody mentioned what I thought about X. And you know, like, I did see the Takumi thing on Reddit, but what happens if I don't browse Reddit? What then? Where's the average player getting this information? So, long story short, they need to take advantage of this stuff. Like, show us these things. Like, hype them out. These are amazing changes that are not there to just steal our money. Like, hype this up, put it on Twitter, put it on YouTube, put it somewhere, devote a minute and 30-second video on these refines. Do something, you know? Like, this is so infuriating to me that they're not taking more advantage of this, because the more they take advantage of their advertisements and the more they take advantage of these small patches being great, the more players we get to see, more friends we get to meet, more people in the community. So we'll get that out of the way and talk about some of these things really quick. First off, we've got a ton of arena changes, and this patch is entirely back to the people. Like, these are for new players. These are just quality changes. These are great changes. We are doing 5 battles instead of 7 for arena. That's the main change here. We're also getting Tempest Trial-like bonuses for arena. So this means we're going to get 10 HP and 4 to all stats for each bonus unit. We're not going to get that from the defensive side of things. So if you fight one of those bonus units, they're not going to get the boost. And also, your arena score will not be boosted by those stat bonuses. So you'll fight people in a lower range, but you'll be stronger because your actual unit is worth less than it actually is. This is really good for 2 style of players. I find like it really hits those two. One of them is new players, or average players, or casual players, I guess is the best word we can call these people. Like Mango7 Girl, who does not really enjoy arena. She doesn't like it. It's too hard. She doesn't understand all the mechanics. And I would bet like a good portion of people sit in that range. Those people are going to get a huge bonus now. They're going to have that bonus unit that is probably as good as their other units already, and then they're going to have the 10 HP and 4 to all stats on top of that. And the other person is somebody like me, or somebody that's in the +10 merge range. So somebody who goes in with 3 +10 units and then 1 random bonus unit that's usually sitting there at 5-star +0 just for the points. And this unit is going to have a unit that they can compete with now. This is going to be somebody they can use and kind of employ and actually fight things, you know, instead of having your 3 5-star +10s do everything and the one guy run in the corner and make sure he doesn't die. Really cool changes. Also, we're getting an overall increase in rewards. A lot of people are saying, they're gonna nerf our rewards. Well, they're not gonna nerf our rewards. They say it right here, but the number of rewards you can receive will increase overall, so do not worry. We'll get the same thing and then some. I mostly guarantee it. Next up here, we have the second most important part of the patch, I think. And these are weapon refineries, and this should have been a 2-minute, 3-minute video showing each unit and hyping up the refine. There's no reason to have the refine show up on the patch in the data mine without any warning. Like, there's no reason. Like, these should be shown and hyped up. No reason not to take advantage of this. We're getting Ramphia for Claire and Wolf Arya, the person who does all of our overlays. When it's not ugly and it looks like a real overlay, Wolf Arya did it basically. Claire is his essentially favorite unit. He's got a +10 Claire, and I love it, and I cannot wait to see what Ramphia does. A lot of people are guessing it's going to be like she does, since I think it does a similar thing to the game. I'm not familiar with her game, so I'm not entirely sure. We have Camilla's Axe. This is what I'm stoked for because I have a +2 attack Camilla. I hope it's good. There's no way they're going to make these bad. They're going to be at least usable, which is exciting to me. Anything other than using their defaults makes me happy. And there's finally Yato. Yato's one of those ones we knew was coming. We knew our boy Mailcorn in the middle there was going to get an upgrade. Unfortunately, I'm not a fan of the graphic of this weapon, so I doubt I'm going to use him whatsoever. He's probably going to sit at 4-star still. But either way, all 3 are getting buffs, and you can imagine these buffs are going to be pretty big to their units. Like, imagine Sheeta without her weapon, for example. Such a big change to the unit. We have tap battle here. This is a weird change to me. If you clear a stage, your heroes can gain a hero merit based on the results. So I have no idea what this means or what it implies. For one, it kind of implies you can farm hero merit in a tap-tap battle. That's weird to me. It also implies you gain more hero merit the better you do, so you can't just spam the button and make sure you complete it. Either way, I don't know what this means. It might just be a small little bonus that doesn't really matter, or it might turn hero merit farming into tap-tap battle farming. So instead of spamming that 0 stamina thing, you're gonna be in tap-tap battle tapping all day long. That would just be the most ridiculous thing I can think of in the entire world. So if that happens, I don't know what this game's coming to, but it's fine by me because I love tap-tap battle. I can play it literally all day long. We have improvements for rival domains. These are some small to medium changes here. We have enemies will no longer attack immediately upon warping, and this is bonkersly good for player units, like really good for us. If you auto, you're probably gonna do like, I would bet like 40% better on average. I know that's like throwing a number out of thin air, but I have to imagine units being able to teleport down to you and not attacking and just sitting there like sitting ducks is going to super increase your win rate. So this should make rival domains easier, and I have to imagine this also applies to Grand Conquest, but it's weird they don't specifically say so. The other notes are just a bunch of random units that you're encountering instead of it being a static amount. Or no, up until now enemies were randomized, but now the same enemies will appear. So that's a different change, not sure what that means, doesn't really mean much. The other biggest part of this patch is the thanks for playing gift, and this is directed at new players, I think. It's to make the initial new player experience much better. We're going to get Takumi for free. That means you get a close counter, and you get a close counter, and you get a close counter. We all get close counters. That is amazing. We also get 13,200 feathers, and this is for the promotion refunds that you'll see in a second. You also get the badges and the shards as well on top of it. One thing I'm noticing here is I'm kind of surprised it's Takumi. If you're a new player, new to the Fire Emblem series, and you see Takumi, I don't think you're super stoked. You know, like, he's just a cool dude, but nothing too exciting. You're not going to see Takumi and be like, oh my god, I want him. I guess you might, but I doubt the average person will. I think there's much better targets. I think an OC unit, an OC bow user would have been a much better choice, but I'm sure they have their reasons. I'm not arguing with close counter in any way. I'm just saying they could have used something more exciting for a new player new to the Fire Emblem series, since anybody that's already a Fire Emblem player is already going to be hooked, I would guess anyway. That's really cool. Getting those is amazing. This is a small change too here. If a hero is defeated during battle, they will no longer use any XP or SP in that battle. So if they die, they keep that XP, they keep that SP. What this doesn't mention is if you game over, whether or not you keep the XP and the SP. I don't think you do because that doesn't make sense, but if you do, that's amazing. I love this change because I can't even count how many times I'll get to the end of a training map and my unit will die at like the last turn. It's so frustrating, and this saves that frustration. They also clear the half SP you get from previously cleared maps, so doing stuff like chain challenges, you now get your full SP. I'm not sure what that means for SP farming. I think there's better options still, but that is a good change since there's no reason to really do that anymore. And we have another little animation feature here, and I'm not entirely sure, again, what this means. A lot of these are really vague, but what it essentially is saying in my mind is that it now shows whether a unit goes like up and left or down and left, up and left or left and up, which way they decide to go, which can maybe help you understand the AI a little more, instead of them just going diagonal, because they often just fly diagonal. One thing too is to notice on this screenshot, it looks like the user is able to move the bow, enemy bow around, so you can physically manipulate them and kind of see where they can move and kind of feel how the game works a little better. I think this is just another way to show how the game works to newer players, especially since this red thing doesn't always show everything perfectly right. So I'm definitely glad with that. What else is here? Starting with the next one here. There we go. Changes for new players. This is great. So Anna, Alphonse, Sharena, Ray, Matthew, and Virian will all start at 4-star instead of 2-star. 2-stars are a thing of the past. They're basically useless now. There's no reason to really use them. The 4-stars are way better. Keep in mind, save any neutral unit you have. If you're a person who likes to take advantage of other people's free-to-play guides, keep your neutral units. Keep your Takumi, because we will be using that for all these guides, and you will not be able to do it without that neutral Takumi. So if you're a person who really feeds off other people's free-to-play guides, which is not something to be ashamed of. They're really difficult. Please, please, please keep those units safe. Art them and everything. Make sure you don't get rid of them because you need neutral. Neutral is very important. The entire strategy can change with one different stat and attack or something like that. We also will get Takumi instead of what's his name, Virion, right at the start too. That's a big upgrade. Really, really great. A couple things too is movies will no longer trigger when summoning certain heroes. I love the summoning movies, but I think there needs to be more of them. I think they need to have a button you can check or something like that to enable downloads, so for people who don't want to waste the space don't have to waste the space, but people who do and enjoy that summoning movie should have a video attached to it. I feel like Legendary Lyn, for example, or any of the legendaries, any super awesome unit should have a video attached to it. There's no reason for them not to. Super hypes up the summoning. Like, I remember summoning Takumi right at the start of the game and how excited I was to do that. And finally, one last thing before we go here, we have a new setting option to stop the music from changing during an enemy's turn will be added. Thank you. Thank you for this. This took far too long. So one last thing actually we're going to mention that is not in here, and these are all new player changes, and the one thing that isn't here is IVs. They're still not going to show your IVs, and they're consciously making the decision not to show them, so they definitely do not want new players to see IVs or understand how they work, I'm guessing, because they would mention it in a patch like this that is dedicated to those players. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe as always, and I'll see you guys later. Bye now.